Good afternoon and Happy New Year. It is January 1st today. This is my first hunt of 2024. Luckily got the day off, so I was able to come down and do some hunting. I'm on my dad's piece tonight. Going after the big 7. I shouldn't going after the old 7. He's not that big, but I just got settled in here. Been in for probably 15 minutes. And I might have picked the wrong spot because there are two does heading up to the north. How this blind sets up is there's a food plot way to the north that they're going to. It's maybe a quarter of an acre. And it did okay, just didn't get enough rain to really grow. Then a failed bean plot that's like in between me and those deer and I. And then I'm sitting over 2 failed green plots and then a picked cornfield behind me. So kind of in between everything, I can see a long ways, so that's what I really like about this spot. Really good to see the deer moving that early, because this last time I sat here, nothing moved until dark, so still got a little over an hour left, so fingers are crossed. Gonna try to hold out for a buck. We'll just see how many does I see, but I think there might be more bucks than does on our farm, which is kind of weird. But we'll see how the evening goes, and if a bunch of does are funneling out, might opt to pick one, because I think a lot of deer are starting to move in. I shouldn't say a lot, but I think a deer are starting to move into the area. Or maybe they just weren't moving before, I don't know, but sit back, enjoy the first hunt of the year. Nothing really moved for a while after that. Then 2 does came out into my bean plot to the north of me, and I saw 5 deer clear over in between the 2 timbers. They were kind of running down and coming towards me. And then a little bit later on, I had a bunch of does worked through, and there were several younger bucks following them. So I figured it could be good night, and a buck could be behind her. So after watching the little bucks, out popped one that I've seen on camera. It's the first time that I've seen him this year. He's a 10-pointer with a small little bobtail, and really easy to recognize him. But this is the first time that I saw him this year, and he's a really good buck. Got a big old frame on him. He'll be a nice deer in a couple of years. As I sat there, more young bucks started to file out, and following them was one deer that I thought was a shooter, but after getting a better look at him tonight, and he had a broken G3, I believe he's probably only a 4-year-old. So I opted to pass on him, and tonight I got back and checked some cameras, and just in the timber was the deer I was after. So he must have just jumped the fence to the south of me, and I never saw him, or he came out and I just never actually saw him. While I was looking at the other deer, maybe he passed on through. They kind of come out in the corner and just jump the fence and go in the corn, so I have a short little window there, and it's kind of hard for me to look back and see in that corner. Overall, it was the best hunt that I've had out of the 23-24 season. It's nice to have a late season food source where you can catch the deer coming to. So I probably saw over 20 deer and a lot of young bucks. So there's going to be some upcoming potential for the next few years. I'm only going to be able to get out a couple more times this season, and probably be the wrap. And this could be the best hunt that I've had of the whole entire season. I was going to do this closing interview in the stand, but deer were still falling out as I was in there. Ended up calling my dad and having him come pick me up on the four-wheeler. So it's a really nice way to kind of get out of there a little bit cleaner rather than having them see me get out of the blind. It's kind of not the greatest setup for getting out, so that's the best way I found to get out of that setup. Overall, it was awesome to see all the deer, and nice to know that there are several deer still around. So EHD didn't hit our area as hard as I thought it had. So probably at least fill one more doe tag this year, if not a buck tag, and hopefully can catch up with that older 8-pointer that I'm after, or 7-pointer. Neither one of them is a giant deer, but they're mature deer, and my goal this year was to get a 5.5-year-old deer or bigger, and it's been a challenge, that's for sure. A lot of upcoming 3, maybe 4-year-old deer, so the next seasons hopefully will be a little bit better. Thanks for watching, and stay hidden.